Well, we do have a call ready for us. We're going to bring him up. It's Ryan, him from New York, and he wants to talk about falsifying the Abrahamic God. So, hi, Ryan.
Hi, Kelley. Hi, Jim. How you guys doing?
Hey, how's it going?
What do you got for us?
Pretty good. Yeah, so I had a question. I watched all the ACA shows and that, and I've been following you guys for a while. A lot of people will know me as Omega Weapon. I just wanted to put that out there. But I get into talks with theists a lot of the time, and something I hear over and over again is that the Abrahamic God is somehow outside space and time, which to me is completely nonsensical, because as far as our language goes and as far as how we identify things that actually exist in reality, those are dependent upon space-time. I mean, creation and causation, to me, only makes sense when space-time is involved. I don't know what it means to say you can create or cause something absent that. So I was just wanted to get your guys' thoughts on that, if that's potentially one way to falsify at least maybe the Abrahamic God, if people are defining it that way.
Yeah, I don't know that it makes any sense to talk about outside of space and time, just because we don't know what that means, especially time, right? What does it mean before time or outside of time? The universe, I mean, we call it space, physicists call it space-time. The two things exist together and they can't exist separately. So the universe, the local presentation of the universe has existed for all of time, because time had a beginning at the same time the universe did. So that doesn't make any sense. It may not make any sense to speak outside, because we don't know what that really means. We don't have any way of testing if it's possible to be outside. And to me, it's just a place to run, because we can't prove that anything exists outside. So theists, Christians in particular, with their all-powerful God, run out to something that nobody can prove or disprove, for that matter. So yeah, I think it's just an escape mechanism that gets them out of having to prove anything.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Because even when you reference something inside or outside, you're giving a spatial reference point, right? In order to say something's outside, outside in and of itself is some type of reference point, referencing either, spatial extension or time in some way. So I don't see how one could get around that logically anyways. And that would seem to imply at least, go ahead.
I was just saying, it seems to me too, like their whole concept of this place that's somewhere out of space and time where God exists is also their excuse for things not having to have a cause, right? Once you're in this timeless, spaceless place, that's where God existed, and he existed before time and space, right? So that's why we can have something that existed without a cause, because it's outside of anything that we can measure, right? And it's, to me, it's a weird concept. I don't really understand it. I don't understand how somebody could think that was a logical argument, but it seems that a lot of Christians do, at least. So yeah. I don't know how to even counter something like that too. How do you? Except to say that, how do we know anything exists outside the world as we know it?
Well, yeah, I would start with, how do we identify or label something that exists, that is extant? We do that with space-time location.
I should have said in reality, not the world, but.
Right, and they also have a problem with nothing. Yeah. They also have a problem with nothing, because nothing doesn't exist, right? There's been several experiments that physicists have done that have definitively proved that the philosophical concept of absolute nothing doesn't exist. You can go outside of where there's no gravity affecting you, get a lead line box so that no electromagnetic waves get inside. You can pump all the atoms outside of the box, that are inside of the box, pump them outside. So there's just nothing in the box, no matter in the box, but yet you'll still have the quantum foam existing inside the box. We don't seem to be able to get rid of that. And no matter how small a space you have, the quantum foam still exists inside of that. That's one of the tests they did. And so as far as we can tell, you always have quantum foam. So you always have something. You never have nothing. What does that mean outside the universe, though? And that's kind of the question you've got to answer is, what does it mean to exist outside of the universe? We know that the Higgs boson gives us mass. And we know that I forget what percentage of the human body or at any given time is actually made of virtual particles. There's all kinds of stuff that's just kind of like quantum physics makes no sense. And yet they seem to want to make these claims that cause and effect is a thing. Well, it is, but not at the quantum level necessarily. Sometimes the effect comes before the cause. And sometimes things happen with no cause, like quantum entanglement. When you quantumly entangle two particles, they have opposite spin. There's no cause for that. So there's a lot of things they just don't understand because they're basing everything they know on a book that was written a long time ago when we didn't know anything. And granted, in 2,000 years, whoever's still around will think that we don't know anything right now, just like we don't think nobody knew anything from 2,000 years ago. So the best thing you can do is say, I don't know, for a lot of this stuff, right? You can't make claims just because it makes you feel good to have an answer. It doesn't mean the answer's right. And I think a lot of Christians are like that. They like the certainty. They don't like uncertainty. And that gives them a certainty that they can't justify.
Yeah. Yeah, the idea of absolute certainty, I can see how it's very appealing and very comforting, especially talking with precepts or people who support the tab argument. But, well, I appreciate your time, and that was very insightful.
Well,
thank you for calling.
Yeah, thanks for calling. It was good to hear your voice. Yeah, cool.
You too. It's a pleasure talking to both of you.
Yeah, it was a pleasure talking to you as well.